Hey, how you doing? It's Martin Cliffe here. Welcome to another video. Pretty quick one this time. Just talking about audio interfaces. It's something that comes up a lot when people are talking about their studios. You know, what interface do you use and all that. And it may surprise you if you're into that sort of thing to know that I'm still using actually two Presonus Firestudio Mobile interfaces for most of the recording work that I do. And you may ask why. I mean, it's an ancient interface. It still runs on Firewire, which has been almost unheard of for 10 years or more. And to be perfectly honest, there is a very simple reason for that, which is to do with number of inputs. I don't know why it is, but if I'm looking for a more modern interface to replace things, as a PC musician, as opposed to a Mac musician, particularly a PC without Thunderbolt, I'm really limited in my choice. I want to be able to plug in 12 things on average. That's what I keep permanently plugged in the studio. 2 microphones, my 2 guitar amps, bass, acoustic preamp, electric drum kit, which is stereo, and 2 keyboards, which is stereo each. So that's 12 things. I am really struggling to find a USB audio interface that has 12 inputs. Now you might say, well, what about ADAT? But ADAT would require a whole other thing. And I want to be able to have the flexibility. I don't do it all the time, but I want to have the flexibility to be able to record in 2496. So 24-bit, 96 kilohertz as opposed to 2448, which is what I normally record in, or 1644.1 if I want to just record at CD quality. Always better to record at a higher quality and downsample down to something for CD or MP3 or whatever it is, than it is to start with something at a low bit rate and a low frequency, because you always want stuff to sound as good as possible. And you will lose audio resolution as you mix stuff together. That's just the nature of how things go, even in the digital realm. So I can't find anything that will let me do exactly what I want. With ADAT, if you're running at 96, you're running what's called SMUX, and that means that you only get 4 inputs on those opticals. So, but all of the ADAT equipped preamps are 8 channels, so you'd need an interface with 2 lots of ADAT inputs, but very few of them have 2. It's just a very frustrating state of affairs. The advantage of Firewire is you can literally daisy chain one interface into another. With USB, I can't do that. And on a Mac even, with the audio integration and stuff, that's great, but you're still limited, as in I can't feed something in one and out the other without having to go through software. Whereas with the way I have my setup run, I have the SPDIF out of one interface going into the SPDIF in of the other, and then I can mix those 4 inputs that are up to 8, but I'm using 4 of them, down into the rest of the mix. So I can put headphones on, plugged directly into the interface with 0 latency, and listen to anything coming in on those channels, which is a huge part of the way I work. So that's something that's really important to me. Now there are options. If I was on a Mac, I could go with like an Apollo X16 or something, which is a fantastic interface, don't get me wrong, but my PC setup doesn't allow me to use that. And there are options, like I could go for something like a Focusrite setup with a Octapre of some kind and an interface, but then I'm only using 4 out of the 8 channels of the preamp, which seems a little bit pointless, a little bit frustrating at least. RME makes some amazing stuff, but then I'm spending thousands of euros. These units were not expensive. They sound great. They're reliable, I can say that for certain, because I've been using them for what, 12, 13 years? Maybe longer. I had my Firestudio projects before that for a long time. So, and I've still got them. I've had 2 mic preamps out of 24 die on my Firestudio project. I don't need that kind of kit in this studio. If I'm recording drums, I'll pull those out, acoustic drums. But yeah, I don't need that many inputs on this particular setup. But you know, if I want to have 22 mic inputs, I can do that all with a single cable into the computer. I think a lot of audio interface manufacturers are thinking, oh, everyone's working with soft synths and in the box now. And maybe I'm old-fashioned because that isn't how I want to work. So I still want to have multiple inputs, and I don't want to spend €5,000 on a setup to do it. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck using old Firewire tech. What can you do? A little bit of a different video this time, a little bit of a, not a rant, but I just wish that there were more options available to me for the time when my interfaces probably will die, or I'll want to upgrade in some kind of way, and I can't do it. So, yes, you know, one of the kind of minimalist approaches to things is, well, only use what you've got, and well, I am doing, but I am doing partly because I have to. It works, sounds great, very happy with it, but I don't have much choice. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time.